Hi everyone. So today was the final day of the Energy Safety Canada conference in Banff, and I can truly tell you that this conference has had me on an emotional roller coaster. I have laughed, I have been passionate, and I've cried over the last 4 days, and it has been absolutely incredible. Last night, a big group of us went out to karaoke and we had an absolute blast, and we followed it up by dancing in a pub, and it made us feel very, very old. It was incredible to meet so many faces in person that I'd only met online and get to hang out with them. It was really a super special time. Conference wise, there's been so many highlights and standout presentations, and so much of it has resonated from my friends Brent and Jeff sharing their growth of the 4Ds over here with my new friends Taylor and Mike and the team at Imperial Oil. Klaus Rose speaking about data analytics and AI, to Sean Brady's incredible storytelling ability as he spoke about wildfires and fatalities and a message of the dark side to expertise. To Carmen Lopez, who I've been connected to on LinkedIn for quite some time, but have never met, and she presented on her role in her organisation's transformational journey implementing HOP. And the brilliant thing about her presentation was how real it was. She gave real world examples and explained how having HOP champions in all levels of the organisation has made the change a little bit easier. Then there was Cindy from Trinidad and Tobago, who spoke about HOP during turnarounds, or what we Aussies call a shutdown. It was interesting hearing her speak about HOP being aimed at a leadership team within her organisation, and how in times of increased workload and high stress, like a shutdown, how the old default view of blame or that emotional reaction might pop out again. But as she says, we're all human. But the absolute standout of the entire conference for me was the very last speaker, Dr. Jodie Carrington, and what an absolute powerhouse. She swore, she picked on the audience, she said it like it was, and she kept the entire 900 strong audience members engaged for a whole 90 minutes. Her stuff was powerful. As a psychologist who'd studied neurophysiology, her main topic is on emotional regulation, but with so many themes like loneliness and connection and well-being thrown in there with it. She had her first real job in psychology at a children's psychiatric unit, and she says she was trained to ask, what is wrong with this one? There were kids that were hitters, kickers, biters, kids not making good choices with all sorts of disorders. She said, do you know what we never asked? We never asked what happened to this one. She goes on to say, when you change that one question from what is wrong here to what happened here, it evokes something in all of us as humans called empathy. Jodie believes that empathy is the antidote to burnout and that we're losing touch with empathy. She says that when someone is emotionally dysregulated, burnt out, flipping their lid in a meltdown, etc., they will be in fight, flight, or freeze mode. And she used this beautiful analogy that when they are in that state, they need someone to walk them home. Or in other words, bring them back to a place of reason. She goes on to add that though, while someone is in that heightened emotional state, they cannot be taught anything, and that includes children. So we need to be able to bring them back down. We need to be that voice of reason, and we can only do that by showing them the way, or as she said, walking them home. Jodie says that walking them home starts with acknowledgement. She said there was 3 main points about how acknowledgement works. To show empathy and acknowledge someone so that they feel seen. Firstly, it's not an apology. It's not sorry you feel that way or sorry for your loss. Next, it can't be a one-shot deal. It has to be something that you constantly and continuously do. And finally, it has to be genuine. You can't pretend you're fake, and you can't pretend something else, otherwise it won't work. I really liked the messaging because she talked about the only AI that we need to worry about in any generation is that of authentic interaction. A lot of what she spoke about just fits with my thoughts on our roles as safety professionals and as leaders within our organisations. Putting people first and having those honest interactions is what it's all about, but also checking on your own emotional state and recognising your own signs of being in fight, flight, or freeze mode. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to walk anybody home. The whole leading by example is definitely something that I subscribe to and practice, both at home and at work. So yes, as you can tell and probably see, I'm exhausted, but I've had an absolutely incredible time, and I'm so appreciative to Gordon and Yanita and the entire Energy Safety team for allowing me the opportunity to come and share my insights on learning from events. Thanks to everyone who came to my session, and thanks to all of you who came up to me randomly and asked me for me to sign their books or get a selfie. You made me feel like I was a superstar, and even if it was just for a minute or two, I really do appreciate it. I would definitely highly recommend adding the Energy Safety Conference to a list of global conferences to attend if you can. Okay, so after all of that, I'm about to pack up my luggage before a small group of us head out to dinner in town for that one last night before we make our journey back to all of our respective locations tomorrow. Thanks again to everyone who I've met and interacted with over the last few days. It's been absolutely incredible. And please don't be a stranger. Reach out and connect with me on LinkedIn. And to all of those that are tuning in to hear what those insights are, more than happy to share anything, extra details from anything you might have heard as well. Please send me a message or comment and I'll happily share with you anything else you would like to know. Otherwise, thanks again, everyone. Bye.